because I never planned to do this. I wanted to be Gene Kelly. And then when I got to town, they weren't writing parts for Gene Kelly anymore. So, it just kind of went that way.
Great.
Yeah.
I might add that Peter had... Peter had 4 careers. He choreographed for Broadway, he choreographed for the movies, he mainly choreographed for so many television shows, and he performed. So this panel, if we switch around from TV to movie, it's because we don't know. He did them all at once, so there's no real way to categorize him. And Juliet.
Yes.
Yes. You did Bonjour first, right, for Peter?
Yes, but I'll come back to the word bonjour, but the first time I met Peter was I had gone to an audition for the Perry Como show in a period of time when, black dances on television really wasn't in vogue. But I decided to go. My black dance friend said, don't go. And I said, no, I'm going to go. I want to find out. I can do this stuff. So I went, and this is when I met Peter and Dee. And we had an all-day, it seemed almost like 24 hours, doing those steps that Peter gave you. It felt like 24 hours. We had the audition. We came back. I was called back. I said, oh, I'm called back here. I have a chance. We went out to dinner. We had to come back again. And we had another audition, and I know I nailed it, right? I said, I nailed that. And then I hear at the end, over in the corner, the producers and whatnot, I hear, we can't hire any blacks. And I said, I heard it, and I kind of turned around and looked and said, who are they talking about? And then I realized, I looked around the room and I said, oh, I'm the only black person here. So I guess they're talking about me. So Peter came over to me, and this is when I knew that I was going to love both of them for the rest of my life. Peter came to me with these eyes that I looked into his eyes, and the kind of emotion that he gave me, he says, I can't hire you for this show. He says, but if ever anything changes in this world that we live in, I will call you immediately. And I looked in his eyes and I said, oh my God, I'm looking into this man's soul. He is beautiful. And then Dee comes over to me and she says, you dance just like me. So I said, here's another one, my God. So 2 years, no, it was actually 3 years went by. I get this telephone call, and I said, hello, who's this? She says, this is Dee. I said, Dee? Who's Dee? She says, the Perry Como audition, Dee. I said, oh, yeah, hi, how are you? She said, listen, Peter's doing a show about gypsies. So I think you should come to the audition. So I said, well, gypsies, okay, I think I could be a gypsy. I'm already a gypsy, so this should be easy. So I go and I take this audition and I get into Bonjour with Cheetah Rivera, which is like, oh my God, I'm going to be dancing in the same show with Cheetah Rivera. This is fantastic. And I knew then that he kept his word, Dee kept her word, and it was like, these are my people. This is my tribe right here. And after that, Peter, I started dancing with Peter again on the Ed Sullivan Show. Many of the Ed Sullivan shows, and I have to say that was a treat because Peter would do these numbers. I have a few numbers that I'm going to tell you about. We did one number where we were like, what do you call it, space people, like creatures, space creatures. And Peter had this helmet on, and we're in rehearsal, and we're doing all these different sounds and whatnot, and then Peter turns around, and all you could see through this helmet was his eyeballs were like this. He had fogged up. The entire helmet, couldn't figure out where anybody was, and he's like in a panic like this, right?
Was this on camera?
No, this was a rehearsal. No, by the time we got to the camera, they had fixed the helmet so that the air would go out so we wouldn't get all fogged up. Then we did another number, that was, it was a, what was that number? I forgot. But anyhow, Peter had these tassels on the bottom of his pants. And this is another time of rehearsal. And we're out there with dancing, and you know how Peter dances these quick steps and he does these quick turns and whatnot. So here we are, right, so here we are dancing. Peter swings around and he does a turn and the tassels go vit, 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 vit around his legs and he can't move. So Dee and I are like, we're like cracking up. So he's looking at us like, how am I going to get out of this? And we go like this. Going away. Oh God. Then we had another number that was really very funny. We had a number where we were dancing in sneakers. And you know how in television then what they would do is that they would pre-record your sounds. So Peter tells the guy, well, you need to do the accent, but you need to do the, you need to record this. So, yeah. So I tell Peter, Dee and I, we said, Peter, sneakers doesn't have any sounds. He says, oh, no, we got to record these sounds. Peter, sneakers, there's no sound. So we decided that we weren't going to fuss with him anymore. We said, please record this. And we were out there dancing, and there's absolutely no sound. We're all dancing around and no sound at all. Oh, God. So dancing with Peter was like an absolute treat. It was...
It's also frightening.
Oh, yeah, very frightening. Because if you noticed at Rampart Street, did you notice those legs?
Yeah.
Did you notice that? That's the way he had us dancing that you never knew. We did a lot of hitchy-poo steps. Hitchy-poo, right? And there was another number that we did that was terribly funny where it was a Spanish number. And you remember the Spanish number? And we did this number, and at the end of the number, Peter had this little small whip like this. And at the end of the number, I can't remember, it could have been Tony that came out with this long whip, and he's going snap, snap, snap. And then Peter turns around, and of course the guy with the long thing got the girls. And Peter, at the end of the number, he looks at his little stick, and he goes, wow. And then he throws it down. But that was the end of the number, but that's the kind of things that Peter did. And also, I have to admit that the one thing that I felt about dancing with Peter was that we were always family. He had the ability to make us, I can't remember an argument, I can't remember any kind of, nasty stuff being said back. Nobody got angry, nothing. It just never happened with Peter. We always rehearsed, we always helped each other, and I love him. Absolutely love him. Love him and Dee as well. Beautiful.
So one more story. Because when you dance with Peter on Unsinkable, he'd get really excited, and he was so inventive. He'd forget sometimes, and he'd invent a new step right there, So a lot of, if you assisted him, a lot of your job was to keep him on course, And Dee would call us and say, we're just using the boys today, or we're just using the girls this week. And he was doing Peter Gennaro's number of The Impossible Dream next week, ladies and gentlemen, And it was Peter and the girls. And the girls had all these mentillas, they're running across the stage. At the climax of the number. And I'm at home watching. Right? And Peter does this knee slide from way upstage all the way down, and he stands up like this. And I look at him, and I went, oh my God, he's forgotten. He doesn't know what's next. And I see Dee and them going, Peter. I mean, it was, priceless. And yet he made it work. He held it and held it and held it.